Many people dream of paying off their investment property and retiring on the rental income. But what if paying it off early can actually put you in a worse financial situation? In this video, I'll share 4 key reasons why that could be the case and why using an offset account instead might be the smarter strategy. Let's start with the basics. With investment properties, an offset account works like a regular bank account, but it's linked to your investment loan. Any cash in the offset account reduces the loan balance used to calculate interest. For example, if you have a $500,000 loan and a $500,000 sitting in your offset account, the bank treats it as if the loan balance is zero, so you pay no interest, just like you'd already paid it off. So yes, keeping cash in the offset account and using it to pay down the loan give you the same interest outcome. But offsetting comes with extra perks, and the first one is access and flexibility. Cash inside the offset account remains fully yours, and you can dip into it anytime for emergencies, opportunities, and lifestyle needs with no bank restrictions. People often use it as a cash buffer, an emergency fund, for big ticket items like a car, a holiday, a child's wedding, upgrading the family home, even for making extra super contributions or drawing on that money to retire earlier. Having cash ready to go can completely change your retirement experience, far better than being equity rich but cash flow poor. If you had used the cash to pay off the loan, however, it's locked inside the property. To access it again, you need to borrow again, and that could be difficult in retirement with limited income and stricter lending rules. Some people choose to pay down the loan with a small balance open to access the redraw facility. But this still comes with risks. Typical redraw terms and conditions make it clear that access to your cash is only available with the bank's consent, which can be withheld. In most cases, they allow access with no issues, but they could certainly restrict it during financial crisis, precisely when you need free and unrestricted access to your money. We saw this during COVID-19 when some lenders suddenly froze redraw facilities, catching borrowers off guard. Reason number 2 why offsetting is generally superior than paying off the loan is that it can actually turn the normally non-deductible consumer debt into good deductible debt. If we go back to that list of major life expenses you could cover using your offset account, you will notice something important. Ordinarily, if you had to borrow for any of these, the interest wouldn't be tax deductible. But as you draw money out of the offset account for these expenses, your investment loan is no longer fully offset. The interest on the uncovered portion becomes tax deductible, since the loan's purpose remains connected to the original investment property. But if you had paid off the loan and then borrowed again against the equity of the investment property, or if you had paid down the loan and are now using the redraw facility to fund those same lifestyle expenses, the interest will not be tax deductible. That's because in both cases, you have created new borrowing for personal use, not for the original investment purpose. I broke this down in detail in my video on redraw facility trap. Make sure you watch it if you're thinking of using a redraw facility for big lifestyle expenses. It could save you from making a costly mistake. Reason number 3 takes the tax benefit one step further. It's about tax arbitrage, which is a fancy way of saying you can legally move money around to your family and related entities to benefit from the differences in tax rates and tax treatment. Let me give you 3 quick examples. But before we dive in, here's a disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Even if your situation sounds similar to the examples I'm sharing, it's important to do your own research or speak with a qualified professional before making any decisions. Example number 1, helping the kids. Say you have $100,000 in your offset account. You lend it interest-free to your child so they can park it in their own home loan offset account. On your side, at 6% interest, you will incur $6,000, but it's tax deductible. Assuming a 39% marginal tax rate, including medical levy, your after-tax cost is only $3,660. For your child, that same $100,000 saves them $6,000 of non-deductible interest. To get that much after tax, they need to earn about $9,836 pre-tax, assuming their marginal tax rate is also 39%, including Medicare levy. So you are out of pocket $3,660, a relatively small cost. But they are ahead $6,000. For younger generations in Australia, that can mean a lot. It's a valuable head start and gives their finances a real compounding boost over time. Example number 2, using a low-income spouse. Instead of helping the kids, you invest that $100,000 in your low-income partner's name. Let's say it earns them $6,000 in income. With little or no taxable income, they don't pay any tax on it, keeping the full $6,000. Meanwhile, you are paying $6,000 in interest, which you can claim as a tax deduction. If you're on a 39% marginal tax rate, including Medicare levy, that saves you $2,340 in tax. So your after-tax cost is only $3,660. As a couple, you come out $2,340 ahead overall. Example number 3, through a family trust. You lend $100,000 interest-free to a discretionary family trust that you control. The $6,000 interest you're paying is tax deductible, so it only costs you $3,660 after tax. The trust then invests the $100,000 and earns $6,000 in income. It distributes that income to a low-income family member, like an adult child at uni, who might pay little or no tax on it. So within the broader family unit, you are $2,340 better off overall. Now, the final reason for using an offset account instead of paying off the investment loan is estate planning flexibility. When you have a property with a loan and keep cash in an offset account, you effectively have 2 separate assets rather than one. The property with its loan attached, the cash in the offset account. This means you could leave the property to one person and the cash to another. And that flexibility can make estate planning much easier. Let me give you an example to show how this works. Tom owns an investment property worth $1 million. There is still $500,000 mortgage on it, and he's got another $500,000 sitting safely in his offset account. He has 2 children. Claire is on a strong income and would love to keep the property as an investment. Emily, on the other hand, has just finished uni. She doesn't have a steady income yet and would much rather have cash than deal with a mortgage. Now imagine if Tom had already used the $500,000 in the offset to pay off the mortgage. At first, that looks great. He's got a debt-free property. But here's the problem. He only has one large asset to split, so he can't meet the different needs of his 2 children. One wants to keep the property and the other wants cash. But if Tom keeps the money in the offset, he has 2 assets, and that gives him options. He can leave the property with the loan attached to Claire, who is in a good position to manage it, and he can give the $500,000 cash to Emily, who needs liquidity and does not want the stress of a mortgage. Estate planning can be tricky, and it's not just about property. Did you know that if you leave your super to your adult children after you are gone, they could be paying up to 32% tax on the balance? Watch this video to learn more about superannuation death benefit tax and 3 ways to reduce this hidden inheritance tax. Thanks for watching. I'll see you over there.